Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Miami Dolphins getting ready for the Indianapolis Colts, and we'll be doing Game Day Uncensored pregame action, 9 a.m. on the 56WQM YouTube page. If you guys want to check that out, myself, Alejandro Solana, joined by Adam Beasley, Omar Kelly. We will get you ready for this 1 o'clock kickoff as the Miami Dolphins try and even up their record. It's really an opportunity for the Miami Dolphins to reset their entire season these next 3 weeks. Get through this. If you're able to get a win out of here, get yourself to 3-3. Most likely, although there's a big assumption on it, but most likely I think we're all assuming Tua is going to be back after his time on IR, is going to come back for the Cardinals game at home. Very winnable game. And that can set you all up for a road matchup against the Buffalo Bills. And if you can somehow win that game, although there is no assumption on my part that they can win that game, because why would I believe in unicorns and elves? Like, we haven't seen it. They don't beat the Buffalo Bills. But if they somehow are able to, and they can keep this win streak alive, I think it's going to say a lot about this season. And all that nonsense mumbo jumbo that Mike McDaniel was spitting earlier in the week about how, they faced their adversity early instead of late. Maybe that'll actually show me something. But his teams, basically since since the Jets shutout last year, it has been a pretty rough watch for your Miami Dolphins. The wins have been slim to come by, and when they have been, they've been brutal watches. I've gotten into many arguments this week with Leroy about, hey, doesn't matter style points. Look, for the most part, I agree. Obviously, the most important thing is go and get the win. But do I miss the holy hell out of high-scoring affairs? You bet your ass I do. I miss Cheetah and I miss Waddle doing their damn thing. I miss Jalen Waddle just scoring touchdowns in general. And, this matchup is one of those where, like, the Miami Dolphins have arguably gotten their wins squeakers against two of the worst teams in the league. Indianapolis, I kind of put in the same realm as Seattle, where it's like, I think it's a winnable game. And if you go back to that Seattle game, there was an opportunity for the Dolphins to go win that game. They just couldn't pull the trigger on their opportunities. They got monster turnovers in that game, a couple to really swing the game. They just couldn't come through. They could not capitalize. And the interesting wrinkle on this one is you have a quarterback who is turnover prone in his very, very young NFL career. And a lot of people have made the point, and I don't necessarily think it's a wrong one, of, man, is it even the best thing for them to go to Richardson in this situation? Now, I hate to break this to the Miami Dolphin fan, but I think the mentality right now, if you're Indianapolis, is this. He's your number 4 overall pick from last year. You have a schedule coming up of Miami, at Houston, at Minnesota, and hosting the Bills. Then after that, you are going to New York for the Jets. Who knows what they're going to become? Hopefully still a disaster. And then hosting the Detroit Lions. The best point, the point of it being, if you're not going to bring them back this week against a Dolphins team that's a little bit in disarray and trying to keep themselves afloat for air, then when do they do it? So it is kind of nasty to feel like the Dolphins are the slump buster here for Anthony Richardson. They are the soft opening for Anthony Richardson before the schedule really picks up for them. And they get into divisional games, and they get into some of their hardest road games of the season. But for a Miami Dolphins team that has not been very good at taking away the football, and hasn't been... I don't think the defense has been bad. I think that they have been very serviceable. They've put the Dolphins in positions. They've been put in some nasty spots by this offense. I think they've been okay. And especially with all the adversity that they have dealt with. We never talk about really what the defense goes through. All we ever say, the offense doesn't have Tua. Offense doesn't have Mostert. Offense doesn't have Teron Armstead. This team has really had 1 or 2 arms tied behind their back for the better part of now a year and a half. They have lost Jalen Phillips twice. They have lost Bradley Chubb. Now they have Javon Holland having to go out there with a billy club, probably playing safety if he does play, which, by the way, would show. It's been interesting. There's been a lot of fodder that, he didn't go and maybe he could have last year with his knees. And, now there's this thought, oh, he's going to go play with a broken hand, even though this is the contract year. I will say, messed up knees and messed up hand, I think for a safety, very different avenues in as to what can become more long-term. And this seems like it's going to be more of a nuisance, a pain tolerance thing. And I think that, tip of the cap to him if he can get out there for his Miami Dolphins team. Agba, of course, is dealing with the visor because exactly what this Dolphins team needs is more injuries to the pass rush. And then on top of it, you have Chop Robinson, who, while Anthony Weaver says, hey, just had his best game, he's getting close. The Dolphin fan is going to want to see some production from Chop Robinson because right now, the 2024 draft class, which I remember doing recaps of it and was thinking to myself, my God, this has been just an incredible hit by the Miami Dolphins. And we got a little bit of flash of Jalen Wright last week, which was encouraging. But for the most part, this has been a pretty hollow rookie class. Let's be real about it. Like, nice game by Jalen Wright, and he looks like he can be a player for sure. But Chop Robinson, haven't really seen it other than a couple of QB hurries to force some third downs to punts. I would say that's probably been his biggest contribution. Patrick Paul, we don't really know. Mo Kamara doesn't play. Malik Washington has been injured most of the season. And Taj Washington is hurt and done for the year. Storm Duck has probably made as much of an impact, an undrafted rookie, as anybody out there. So, yeah, I think it would be a nice thing for the Dolphin fan to be like, hey, Chop Robinson. Because when you're at this spot with your roster and you're and you've spent the big money, you got to hit on picks, man. You got to. You got to find some guys. And they got to be able to contribute. And I think what frustrated a lot of fans going into this year was you drafted a guy who everybody said, oh, my God, the athleticism jumps off the page, but little raw. And then you took a tackle, and everybody's like, hey, man, 6'8", moose, but little raw. And so maybe these guys will turn out to be awesome, but, even going back to last year, like your first pick, Cam Smith, I have no idea if the guy can play football or not. You look at a guy, Channing Till, don't know if he can play football or not. And I get it. There were years they're spending those picks on Chubb and they're spending them on Tyreek Hill, but then, find the acorns anywhere. And so this is definitely, I think this is going to be a spotlight week for Chop Robinson. And obviously he's got a huge moose that he has to go after in Anthony Richardson. But I get it. I get it if I'm Indianapolis. Like, you brought Joe Flacco to do exactly what you had hoped the Dolphins' backup situation would have been, which is, hey, Skylar Thompson, you've been in the system 3 years. Can you do anything? The answer was no. Now it's Snoop Huntley. Can you learn this offense a little bit more? Does anybody pick him up? Also, by the way, it's Odell Beckham's first couple of weeks in the offense. Hopefully that goes well for everybody. Jonnu Smith looks like he gave you a little bit of life. Great to have Raheem Mostert back. But yeah, this is definitely like I'm with the Dolphin fan who wants to be confident because you want to be optimistic. I'm for that, but I don't think you can be like cocky going into this game by any means with Anthony Richardson or with Joe Flacco. Even as banged up as the Indianapolis Colts look, the Dolphins have to play better football. There cannot be the mistakes. There certainly cannot be the special teams mistakes that there have been. I mean, just reading some of the quotes from this Danny Crossman today, and I'm just like, dude, I just don't want to hear it from you. Like, you come out here and you're like, oh, they know they messed up. It's like, well, they keep messing up, Danny. Like, you guys are, I think I read today, the worst ranked special teams unit in the league. And everybody just keeps sitting here and we're banging our head against the wall because the Miami Dolphins, are fighting a field position game, which is crazy. You go from dancing all over for 70 points to now we got to make sure we punt correctly. It didn't even, cross the mind of this coach to punt for 2 years. And now it's like I got to sit here and listen to Danny Crossman explain how everything's handled right now. All in all, this team is going into this with the hope that they can really lean on that run game. Looked pretty strong against the New England Patriots. That Tyler Huntley will have more of a rapport, certainly with Tyreek Hill, who I think, bounced back in a big way the last game. I've been kind of hoping we can get one of those from Jalen Waddle. I just want to see the Waddle again, dude. I miss it. I miss Jalen Waddle in the end zone. I don't think it's a big ask. I don't think I'm being overly critical. I certainly want to make it clear that I dig Jalen Waddle as a player. I think he's fun. He's enjoyable to watch, but you got paid big money. Like, this is the thing. This is what goes with the territory. When you're one of the guys they invest in, and you're looking around, and you're like, all right, Tua's not here, but who can step up when he's not here? Who can pick up their guys a little bit? You're hopeful that the leaders of this team can. And I thought we got that from Mostert the last time around, that he was a huge boost. And if they get Devon Achane back, you can kind of use him now all over the place because you have this three-headed monster maybe in the backfield. There are things I think to be excited about with this Dolphins team. And it would be nice if you don't have to wait just for Tua to come back to make this happen. Mike McDaniel, yeah, okay, we get it. You've been strapped with having to, because of your guys' own doing, this is the quarterback situation you're in. But now, all right, he's been here for a little bit. You guys know each other a little bit more. You've had a bye week together. Can the Miami Dolphins get in the end zone multiple times? Can they start putting up some points, and can they go and get themselves a tough road win? For where they're at right now, any win on the road is going to feel like a big time win for them, and that's what they need. They need to go in there with some adversity. You saw Jalen Phillips get the surgery this week, and that was probably the low point of the season when you learned he was going to be done for the season, already on top of where they were at. But you are getting some reinforcements as well. So I don't think the Dolphin fans are going to be very patient and have the tolerance if they do lose this game. I don't think they should chalk this one up, but I do think it's winnable. And I think it would be a big morale boost if you can somehow get back to the Tua recovery week and you are 500. It's going to feel like a major, major victory for this team from where they were at, where it felt like, oh my God, the walls are caving in. This is getting below rock bottom. That's why Sunday will go a long way for the fans.